Welcome to Crops, Cattle, and Charley. I'm Charley Martinez, and today I'm joined by Aaron Smith and the University of Tennessee livestock economist Andrew Griffith, who's with the Department of Agriculture and Resource Economics. Today, Dr. Griffith is going to be discussing feeder cattle future price recovery and expectations through the end of the rest of the year. So, Dr. Griffith, how well have feeder cattle futures recovered since April?
Well, Charlie, they've really recovered tremendously from the lows that they experienced. If we just take the August feeder cattle contract, back in January it was trading as high as 150, but the feeder cattle futures actually started to decline prior to COVID-19 hitting the United States, and then that same contract actually traded as low as 110 back in late March, early April. But since that time period, we've had a pretty strong resurgence on the futures market. And so, I'm just using the August feeder cattle as the example, but you can use September, October, November, any of those months. And we bounced back over 140. The market was down a little bit to start the current week that we're in. But when you go from 110 back to 140, 142, 143 type area, that's only $9 under where we started the year, which was, and at that time I thought feeder cattle were overvalued. So the futures market has really recovered since April, and given producers an opportunity to actually market cattle at a decent price.
So what can producers expect out of the feeder cattle futures through the end of 2020?
Well, Aaron, we've had a very steady increase in prices since that April time period, and it's hard to imagine these prices going back to 150 or higher. There is opportunity for these prices in the next 5 months to maybe gain a few more dollars, but I really expect more of a steady price over the next 4 or 5 months as we move through the end of the summer, into fall, and in the beginning of winter. I think we'll have a very steady state, mainly because we're starting to see steadier finished cattle prices. We've got slaughter levels back to where we would expect them to be, and I think the supply and demand fundamentals have kind of settled out and are going to help us to see clear that we're about where feeder cattle should be.
Awesome. Thank you for that insight, Dr. Griffith. And thank you to the viewer for joining us on this episode of Crops, Cattle, and Charley. We hope that you enjoyed it, and we hope that you'll join us on the next one. Thank you.